What is up, YouTube? So I have discovered recently that when I was a child, I did some very stupid things, and some of those very stupid things almost got me killed. And this is one of those times. I had this friend who lived near me, like literally right next to me, and we'll just call her Jessica. And Jessica and I had this friend, we'll call him Brian. So one day I was like, bro, let's go to Brian's house, like let's go. Keep in mind, we were literally 7. We couldn't drive, we couldn't take the boat out, we couldn't kayak, because he lived across the lake. And you know, my parents were good parents and we're not about to let a 7-year-old child go with her 7-year-old friend across the lake by themselves. Unfortunately, I was a very sneaky child, and if I wanted to do something, I kind of just got it done my own way. So I go to my dad, I'm like, hey, take us to Brian's. And he's like, hey, I'm doing stuff. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. And so I called Brian's mom. I was like, hey, can you come get us? Like, we want to hang out with Brian. Like, is that Gucci, you know? And he was like, oh, you know, yeah, sure. Like, I'm not home right now, but if you want to have, like, your dad or your mom take you, that's fine. My parents were busy, so they can take me. But I was determined. I was like, I am going to see my friend now. So I came up with this brilliant idea. I was like, why don't we just walk around the lake? You know, like just use everyone's backyards to just navigate around the lake to Brian's house. Like, I'm genius. I'm so smart. A1 logic. Yes. So I was like, hey dad, I'm gonna spend the night at Jessica's. Okay, cool, okay. And I was like, hey Jessica, you wanna spend the night at my house? Like, for some reason, my logic was fabulous. Once that was done, I was like, all right, we have all night, we can do this. So I packed some snacks and I was like, yeah, let's go, like, let's go around the lake. So we start walking. And we both had cell phones and we were like, all right, we're fine. You know, we have snacks, we have our phones, we're good. And it starts to get really dark. I hate the dark. If I have to be outside during the dark, I hate it. And I was even more so terrified then, obviously, because I was little, like 7-year-old little tiny child. And we didn't know where we were. It turns out we were actually literally 2 streets over. So if we wanted to turn back, we could. But at this point, we were like, oh my God, where are we? What is this? We are literally like in Africa right now. What is happening? So we get out of people's backyards because we were like, okay, maybe that's not a good idea. What if we like drown? What if an alligator comes in and attacks us? Like, let's not do that. So we transferred over, you know, so we could see the houses. And it's maybe like 7 o'clock. We've probably been walking for about 10 minutes, but it feels like hours. And it's dark now and we can't see. Our phones are dying. So I start freaking out. Jessica starts freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Like, we can't tell our parents, we'll get in trouble, because I told my parents I was sleeping at your house, and I tricked you into saying that you were sleeping at my house. Like, we'll get in so much trouble, we can't do this. Like, so I was like, all right, we have to find a phone. Like, maybe if we call your parents, we won't get in trouble. So I was like, okay, we need to go to someone's house and find a phone. And of course, we go to the creepiest house on the block, and this man opens up the door. And he's maybe like in his 50s or something like that. And he's like tall and like kind of buff, but he's not like really buff, you know? He just looked super sketch, okay? Like, thinking back on my life choices, like, probably not the best idea. But little naive little 7-year-old twiggy me was like, all right, let's go. So I knock on the door and Jessica stays back because she's the smart one. Just listen to how I explained the situation to this strange man living alone in this creepy house, okay? I was like, hey, so we're kind of lost and we don't know where we are and our phones are dying and our parents have no idea where we are. So can we like use your phone? Is that cool? And of course, he's like, yeah, sure, just come on inside. I'll get you some food. You seem hungry. and you can make whatever phone calls you need, you know, it'll be good. And of course I was all for it. I was down. I was like, yo, food, phone, not staying outside in this creepiness, all right, let's go. But thank the Jesusness that is my friend, because she was like, that's not a good idea. We'll wait out here and you can bring the phone to us, you know, sound Gucci, sound Gucci. He still tried to coax us inside. Like, at one point he was like, oh, well, if your friend wants to just wait outside and you can come inside, you'll be good, you know. It took like about a good 10 minutes until he realized he was not, like, that was not happening. And by some miracle, Jessica's phone starts working. Like, and she calls her dad. She's like, yeah, Dad, we're lost. We don't know where we are. Sorry, don't yell at me, but there's this creepy man outside, so you should come get us. He was there in like 5 minutes. We did get yelled at, but you know, it's cool. Here's the kicker of the story. The whole point to why I'm telling you this. This creepy man who tried to invite little 7-year-old twig blonde girls into his house by himself was recently convicted for child molestation. Only me, literally that would only happen to me. So shout out to my smart friend who didn't allow me to go into this house, because I probably would have died. I wouldn't be here. You'd have to like click unsubscribe. You'd have to unfollow me on all my ish, because I wouldn't be here. I'd be dead. Sorry. Like, so that was my story. Say no to drugs. Don't talk to strangers. All that, you know, good parental advice that I probably should have listened to. If you want to follow me on all my socials, they will be linked down below. Comment for further suggestions if you want to hear some more stories about my life. I will see you guys next week, and stay Gucci!